Broadcasting live from the command center located in Jacksonville, Florida, this is Military Witnesses to UAP. I am your host, Shannon Scott. From Frackville, Pennsylvania, known for his awesome, brutally honest, epic rants, and you can find him on the Quirk Zone podcast, our friend Jim Quirk. Contributor for the Roswell Daily Record and UFO Symposium podcast, and UAP Med. Straight from the Yakima Valley in the great state of Washington, he is our rising star, Shane Frakes. Backed by popular demand, located deep in the woods of Missouri, the best UFO researcher I know, my right-hand man, Rob Heatherly. We've all assumed the duties and responsibilities of continuing the conversation, so buckle up, hold my beer, hang on, and let's get started with today's briefings. How you doing, Rob? How you doing, Shane?
Hey, what's up, guys?
I hear you perfectly. I'm going to have to update Rob's technology because it takes us a good 20 minutes to get him maybe not buffering for 10 seconds. But we do have, give me one second, get things up. We have more people coming, right? So until then.
Together we're the Three Amigos.
Now, every time I get a chance, I'm going to be using that. So Shane, let's start off with you, man. Tell us what in the world happened when you went to Roswell. What happened? What's going on there?
Well,
with them?
we went to a festival, and then while we were there, well, we've kind of been investigating crash retrievals for a bit.
Right.
So, UFO crash retrievals, right? UAP crash retrievals. So, for the Roswell Daily Record, we've been doing an investigation. Heck, I even slipped a little note in Jay Stratton's goodie bag that the Roswell Daily Record gave him to say, hey, we're investigating, just, trying to find out anything we could. And so we ended up getting to Roswell. And Toby, let's just say, Toby and I, we found some information that wasn't really out there. And the way we found it, no one had found, right?
Right.
So first, I kind of like, this doesn't make any sense. Kind of panicked a little bit, like, how in the hell? So we took some time to investigate this. It's about crash retrievals, right? And I'll say that as we investigated it, one thing led to another, which kept leading to another, which also led us kind of to where we could see from different perspective that not only were we investigating this was also in line with stuff that was already kind of out there that was verifying. So that's what we're doing. And
Awesome.
I can't talk a whole lot about it because we're still doing it and we're still trying to figure out, but I'll tell you guys this. So, and Shannon can tell, crash retrievals, we have more than one, multiple, right? And they've been around since before Roswell. The Roswell incident is a series of 3 incidents that people confuse for one, and they call the Roswell incident. That's where there's so much information out there. And then what ends up happening is, before that, they had crash retrievals, but because at Walker Air Force Base, the general, because not even a general's in the know about this, he came out and said, hey, we got UFOs, and had to walk it back, right? That's when they said the Project Mogul, that's what it was. Well, White Sands is right there. So I've also read somewhere before I ever came across all this stuff about how this is so wild.
I know, right?
Reading, actually, talking about how crashes were happening, and somehow whatever this NHI is communicated to someone that they thought it was some kind of a weapon, and it would have been a whole different story.
Yeah.
But it was just something passive they were going through, like a radar or something that was screwing their shit up, right?
Yeah.
And then later on, you keep going. Well, you got the missile range and stuff there, and you got lasers being developed, you got radar, you got all these other things going on, and you have all these crashes. There's a flap there, a big flap. Before that, I mean, hell, you have shit. You could tell Italy. You have international. There's a lot. South Africa is another one that came later on, but there's a lot of information out there already. If you go look, that's the wild part. That now, if you take a look at it, just knowing crash retrievals are real, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not guessing, and not hopefully, you got the hearings coming up.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty awesome. What do you guys know about that?
Let's see. We're going to answer that question, but first, let's welcome Jim. Jim, how you doing?
What's up, Jim?
Jim is frozen, maybe.
I'm doing good, but it looks like, yeah.
We hear you perfectly, Jim. Okay, to Rob. I unmuted you, Rob. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's enough with Rob for this
Wonderful.
evening.
Wyatt, I am rolling.
I know, right? Well,
Yep.
Rob's just going to be
Yep,
with
I'm
us
done.
this evening.
See ya.
Oh, wrong person. There we go.
Be careful. Be very careful.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to wait for Jim, but in the meantime, go ahead and finish your thought there, Shane.
I was just going to say that government's been lying to us for multiple reasons. You know, we've talked about this before, to keep special access programs hidden, to reverse engineer for technology. Also, we don't want information getting out to the bad guys, and the bad guys can utilize said information. I've heard several stories. Like, I know I've heard a story about when World War II ended, that we didn't necessarily get all the scientists that knew about the UAP stuff from Germany, and they knew about UAP stuff.
Didn't get them all.
No, we didn't get the one.
Russia.
What happened is we got smart ones, but there were some that were working with. This is just a story, right? Some that were working with craft. You've heard these stories about Nazis and the craft and the bell and all this, right?
Yep.
Well, supposedly there was a group of them that actually went to Russia. So we already thought we were behind, so that was already freaking us out, right?
Right.
This is just a story, so I'm not gonna. It's not like I can prove any of that, but this is, and it would kind of make sense. And then on top of that, we have all this secrecy. Now you have to worry about someone broke the law. You got at the top, you have what do you call them? I don't even know what the term for them is. Basically, the ones that are running it like it's a monarchy, right? They're the ones making choices behind the scenes about this stuff,
right?
Because we're not able to know.
Unilateral.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Well, they've completely lost oversight with Congress and the White House as well. So I think that obviously infuriated Congress to know that they were lied to for 75 years as well. That being told by the Air Force and other agencies that the phenomena didn't exist, and it's all mundane and nothing to see here. They don't like being lied to, and that not only are they being lied to, but the stovepipes that are coveting this knowledge have been sharing it with the aerospace partnerships, and they've profited big time with the money and the power that they've gleaned from that. So, yeah, when they came back again and lied to Clinton when he asked for another review on Roswell, they came back with a more exuberant explanation, but still mundane, which is falling on its face now that they were abjectly lying again. So, yeah, there's going to need to be more Oakleys hitting the floor as they're found out lying and obfuscating truth and trying to act like the fourth branch of government that they're not. Just like with the DOE that they had to pull back into compliance around 2000 to 7 years of the Clinton administration. They're going to have to take that precedence and apply it to this as well, because history is repeating itself.
Yeah, Toby and I actually, our last article, we had got a confirmation from before it was out from sources inside, we'll just say that we're saying there was going to be hearings. And I've heard all kinds of things about people who are going to speak in, that kind of thing. So yeah, I heard this, not just one, I'll say that. So
There's many. In fact, I don't know the
On
total numbers, but we're talking dozens of bodies, right? Dozens.
no, I'm talking about like who's going to be talking at the hearings. And that,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you showed that
Hearings?
somebody said that they had got a confirmation from Senator Rubio. Yeah, we were talking about. So yeah, multiple people, but there's bodies.
Yeah,
I
dozens.
guarantee you they have way more bodies than you could imagine, because again, the amount of crash retrievals is way more than people think about.
It is. And
Mhm.
hey, welcome back, Jim. How you doing?
Globally.
Pretty good. Am I still lagging?
Yeah, no, you're great.
Am I still lagging?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with
You're
the
lagging
internet.
now. Hey,
Sorry.
just enjoy
we
the
had,
The
conversation.
government must be onto me.
That's it. That's always it. I looked at the list, and it was the list you put up on Twitter, right? And you count the bodies. All right, there's 4, there's 2, there's 0, there's 7. There's a bunch of them in this one, and I counted it up, and it's like that's a lot of bodies. And then that was a lot of craft,
Yep.
right? And if Bob Lazar is correct about seeing a dozen of them, I think it was 9 or 12 of them. I forgot off the top of my head. Anybody know? There's a lot more craft that wasn't at S4 that was probably up in Ohio at that Air Force base. All right. So on that, hey, Rob, how is your ear doing, dude? And in case
What?
nobody knows, tell
What?
everybody what happened to your ear.
I don't know where to start. The short of it, I blew out an eardrum 2 weeks ago today. I can't hear anything. I have horrible vertigo. It's just confounding trying to deal with. So yeah, it's really jammed me up. And apparently there's no guarantee that it'll ever get fixed, even with surgery, which is going to have to be necessary. And that's not even going to, I'm not going to see the surgeon for another month. So yeah, it's going to be a long haul.
Crap, dude. If it's not one thing, it's another, Rob, with you and I.
Hey, I'm still above dirt.
Yes, we are. And in case everybody doesn't know, stand by. I got to get with my assistant. What day am I leaving? Stand by.
You check into our vehicles on April 11th. I think you said you were leaving the evening of the 10th.
Yeah.
You can leave. You can leave anytime after Michael's
Done. Probably then. Yeah, go slow. I'm going to be leaving late on the 10th of this month, which is 4 days. So I got to get that camper all prepared. But
It's Easter this weekend too, so
right,
Sunday will be at Mom's.
right. And I'm going to be spending a whole entire week with Rob Heatherly. We're going to do some canoeing and some fishing and we're going to fly kites and I don't know what else we're going to do, Rob. Bike riding, you know.
I'm going to be lucky to even be able to tie my damn shoes
I know.
on my head.
At least I have an assistant.
Yeah, I'd like to. Mr. Gray Owl's idea.
Yep. I have a tweet here that I want to bring up. Give me 1 second. Let's see where it's at. It's right here. Boom. All right. Last night, I said James Fox stated that there has been folks that have been testifying and involved in the reverse engineering of craft. Folks, the cat is out of the bag. Is any part of that incorrect, folks? No, I didn't think so. We'll go on to the next comment here. Dave Beatty, which I spoke to him on the phone early last year, and I told him that an investigation that he was involved with matches up with an investigation that I did with an aircraft carrier. The one he did was the Ronald Reagan. There was a craft off the bow of the ship during flight operations years ago, not a few years ago. Now, the craft that my witnesses saw was the same description, but it was over the Kennedy back in 71. So this technology obviously has been around for a while. And of course, Richard Butt chimes in and says, now adding conditions after the bet isn't allowed. My bets are all on the whistleblowers. The truth will come from them. Proof. And then Dave says, proof not some delusional pensioner. Is he talking to me? Talking about me? The ETs contact me every day in my hearing aids. And then Richard says, let's bump it up to 100,000. And Dave says, I don't have 100,000. He goes, public apology to the winner and the eternal told you to the loser. And then Richard says, I truly believe you will be surprised and pleased by the quality of people coming forth. And we will be asking everybody here about who do you think has or is or will testify to Congress. And then Dave follows up, says, Robert Salas, Eric Davis, Hal Puthoff, Lou, who else? Kit Green, Travis Taylor, Jay Stratton, some of the guys from Greer's Project Disclosure. I want someone to who took a wrench to a sports model, which is referring to Bob Lazar's description. All right, let me get this all taken down now. Bam. There we go. So any comments, gentlemen, about that?
I think it's going to be a very exciting summer.
I'm afraid
and
to
I think
comment.
it's going to get
We can
wrapped
hear
up
you,
in the fall.
Jim.
You can hear me?
Say it again, Rob.
I was saying it's going to be a very interesting summer that's going to pick up steam into the fall, barring acts of war that take precedence and such that would suspend and postpone hearings. But that's why they have multiple committees and multiple people in different groups, so they don't have to all be stacked into one at a time, so they can diversify and take on multiple projects at the same time. So barring unforeseen acts of war and such, they should still be able to move forward with this in a timely manner.
Right. Jim, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
We can hear you perfectly.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say my patience is extremely limited and I'm sick of waiting. That's where I'm at. Even though I there's good news is coming out all the time and we keep hearing stuff, but my patience is extremely limited at this point. That's where I'm at. I'm happy to hear all these things, but we're not there until we get there. I guess I'm not going to be happy until the day comes.
So my question I posed
I
to
dare
everyone,
say
my question would be, will Congress let us know what they heard or the conclusion of their investigation? Or, is it going to stop here and because of national security?
No,
I hope not.
they won't.
I don't think Congress can't keep a secret. It will, no matter even if they say they're going to privately, somebody's going to leak it. So once Congress knows something, it will come out. I believe that.
Right. All the people, all the congressmen who have been briefed they at least have a clearance, right? So
Yeah, all except for
Well, they
I
briefed
don't
all
think
of Congress after the.
it's the senators that have been briefed. Well, the Gang of Eight, right?
Well, they were
Let's see
all
who we
fundamentally
nominate.
briefed, including the White House after the balloon event. They were told something fundamental that
Yeah.
apparently was shocking to a lot of them.
Which reminds me, isn't it amazing what kind of footage we were able to see with that drone that got taken down by that Russian MiG? And they're going to give us one frame of a video. You know, it's amazing. It's what they can show us, but the same hardware. If it takes a picture of a UAP, and they have no idea what it is, they'll just say, "Well, it's just unknown," and until we know what it is, it's going to be classified, right? Maybe that's the way they're thinking.
Look, Jay Stratton said when I was at AliaCon,
Yeah.
Well, they-
Jay Stratton straight up said he's. Oh, I'm
Say it
sorry, Rob.
again. Say it again, Shane.
So when I was at AlienCon, Jay Stratton straight up said, they're not going to tell us. I'm summarizing here. He's right. What they're going to do is no matter what, you may think there's leaks. Oh, someone will say, oh, there's craft, there's this and that. But no, for the world for disclosure to happen, we can't keep having these just, oh, it's based on a hearsay leak. So Toby and I have actually been working on an article because the National Defense Authorization Act, the whistleblower protection in there. Well,
Right.
First off, what are they doing to enforce it? For example, the retaliation against previous whistleblowers. Now we want to make sure there's some kind of program in place to protect others. And then we also we sent a question to a bunch of senators specifically, what are you doing to ensure transparency? And I understand national security, but there's a way for somehow, maybe they don't want to be known. Cool. There's a way for somehow for some transcripts that aren't that heavily redacted, because again, what are they classifying and protecting? I don't quite understand. They're not going to give us anything, I don't think. I think what's going to happen behind closed doors, they're going to get all the goods that we know's there that we're talking about right now, not just the familiar people. There's other people that let's just say we're worked on craft, reverse engineering craft. You were just talking about Dave Beatty talking about worked on a sports model, right?
Right.
There's other people in there. This is just what I'm hearing. So they're going to get this information, and I think it's going to go on lockdown. There's nothing in that act that says they have to say anything. It just says there's a protection now for the whistleblower. So when he comes forward, Congress can go, oh, we don't want to tell them that. Puts it away again. Yeah, maybe it's a different type of, I guess, protection, but it's no longer compartmentalized.
Right.
So what happens is now you got scientists, multiple scientists working on reverse engineering. So this could have been a whole way of getting it in Congress's eyes, where they're still maybe. And Jay Stratton said this: there'll be checks and balances at least if it comes to fruition. We may not know. So what do we do about it? That's why me and Toby, in one of our next articles, we're trying to figure out what are they doing to ensure that we can't. There's no reason for them to keep it locked up again. It's bullshit.
Anybody got anything to add to that? That's pretty much.
Sorry, it gets me a little fired up.
Yeah, come on, Jim, get fired up, get mad. Everybody loves.
Well, before I
Jim's
came, I've been
rants.
having all kinds of problems today. So, I did a podcast earlier, and I was making the video, and I had all kinds of issues with the editing and stuff. I had to do it all over again. I mean, and then I came on here, so I just got done with that, and then I came on. So I was in a bad mood when I came on already. So my patience is actually absolutely, like I was saying before, as you know, everyone knows, my patience is extremely limited. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of the horse crap. I'm tired of the lies. I don't even know how this is ever going to. I'm curious to see how it's all going to pan out in the end. At some point, it's going to one way or the other. But I'm hoping, I'm trying to be optimistic about this year, like you are, Shannon, and we'll see. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens here soon. I don't know. Seems like some good news coming up. There's some promises that it seems like we're getting closer, but are we? Are we? I mean, we it seems like we're always getting closer, but until it happens, until I see it, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I really think this year, dynamite year. Oh my gosh, dynamite year coming up. We're already in April. So just
If you want the goods,
yeah,
they're all in here.
how much was that book? By the
Oh,
way,
this was,
I want
100
that. I don't
bucks.
have that book.
If you want a book, I can tell you for a fact, there's the real deal information in here. Now, you're going to have to go through, use your filters, and go resource hunting. But knowing what we know now, going back through this, there's a lot of good information in here. So,
UFO crash retrievals.
yeah. So,
I'm gonna look it up.
volume 1 through 7, you can get buy one volume at a time. But the point is, it's got a lot of good information. You can parse it, and then on top of that, what I had done is, because I had already read it, when we came across this information, I was kind of like, whoa, and then as I go back through it now, knowing I got this from somewhere else, I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, oh. So this book here, I would also highly recommend Corso's book, Day After Roswell, but there's an unreleased manuscript that he wrote that was it who else? Somebody else ended up coming up. You want the ones that's not changed. That'll give you the details. Like I can tell you that they had night vision.
Yep.
What we see is those ETs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Leo? That's Leo Sprinkle. That's Leo Sprinkle, right?
Which one? Lee Springfield? Stringfield?
No, Leo Sprinkle, right? Is that his name? Or at least, yeah, Stringfield rather.
Stringfield,
Yeah.
yeah.
Leonard Stringfield?
Is that who wrote that?
Yeah.
Leonard Stringfield, yeah.
Yes.
That's who wrote
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Right. There's
Yeah, actually, he's a
several books.
great
Hi,
researcher.
Mikey. Yes. Yep. There's several books here. You got the one that you were holding up, Shane. That one's $99. I love you too, Mikey. Night. You're very sweet. That's my life. Awesome. UFO crash retrievals, status report 1, retrievals of the third kind, which is, that's an audio book.
Yeah, there's only like 2 of them on audio.
Mhm.
It's probably way cheaper just to get the volume 1 through 7 because there's 7 volumes. Those have
Right.
good information, and then
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to put that
these
on
are
my
the old.
card list.
You can get these old the old newsletters
Yeah.
that everyone used to.
Where'd you get those?
You can get all the collected newsletters from
Wow, he's
Keel.
really stocked.
Now they're just in a book instead of having it. I can tell you that I've looked everywhere. I was like, oh shit, this is so much easier because I had to get out of my digital stuff because it's too hard to research with some of that. So I've got a ton of digital.
What are those magazines called, though?
Oh, this is just the. So this is the collected issues of Saucer News is one of them, and basically
Right.
it's newsletter. Back in the day, before internet and stuff, they used to have those newsletters, and that's it. This is going to be the collected issues of Saucerian by Gray Barker. John Keel, collected issues of the Irregular Newsletter. This one's my favorite, though. And then the Saucerian Bulletin by Gray Barker, collected issues. And see what somebody's done is, you got to pay for them, obviously.
Mhm.
And this is the collected issues of the UFO Investigator, Kehoe.
Wow, that's all Kehoe's research.
Yeah, and then here's Stringfield. So what they've done is before they actually started writing books, they had, while they did it, they were putting out newsletters every month, and someone's went back and thrown them all in a book. So, like different
Wow.
experiences, stuff you don't see or hear anywhere. Some cool shit in there. So
Wow.
I've just kind of been taking a break and doing my prospecting and stuff and reading. That's all I've been doing.
Apparently, my super chat button is missing, folks. So I heard there was somebody who wanted to donate. However, I have to figure it out. I don't know what's going on with that. It's been a while since we broadcasted. So swing back around the next show and hopefully I'll get that troubleshooted and corrected. And man, I got to bring up those photos. While I've been gone, I visited the Georgia Aquarium. Woo! Get a chance, go in your living room, put in that video that I have, the one underneath this one. It's in 4K. I actually recorded it in ProRes and then edited, and it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic aquarium, incredibly jelly over it. I want Jacksonville to have something like that as well, but no one goes downtown Jacksonville because we have all the homeless are camping down there these days, and you just can't go down there without being mugged. What else is going on? What is happening? What has happened other than we have Shane, who went to the Roswell, right? And we have Rob and I are going to, what's that convention called, Rob? Let me unmute yourself first. Oh, you
You're
muted
spring
yourself and
this
just
weekend,
closed
but I'm not
yourself.
sure what it's
Oh,
called.
there you are.
Obviously, it's a UFO related event.
Yeah. We're going to be spending a few hours with Sean Cahill too. So how about that? We'll probably go out to eat or something. And wow, what an opportunity!
What
And it's
event
just
is
how many miles is it away from you, Rob?
it?
30, about 25 actually. 25 minutes is about 18 miles, but it's a lot of curves and hills to get there.
Well, I'll have my SUV. We'll be fine. Let's see, there was something else I wanted to share with everybody. Side note, folks, I love Photoshop. This is just an example where I take a photo and then I Photoshop it, which is on the left. And then I can't really show it from here, but it's up on the wall. But give me 1 second, folks. Good night, baby. Yeah, I'm loved. Hey, may I share your father's picture, Rob?
That's an old boyfriend of my mother's, but close enough.
Here we go. So Rob gave
That
me a
was somebody
picture.
she's particularly fond of back in the
Yeah.
day.
Rob gave me a photo, and I can Photoshop anything, and I love restoring old photos. He gave me this photo here, but let me get rid of this. Okay. As you can see, I can Photoshop this whole thing except for the face. I have no idea what the face looks like. That's very specific. Everybody has a look, right? So I have another photo here of this guy. It's the same guy, right? So what I did, I took this dude's head and I Photoshopped there. I got to fix it up some more, but that gives you an idea what I can do. So don't inundate me with all these photos now, folks. But what else is going on, guys? This is going to be a short show today. If we got something to, I should have wrote down all the things I wanted to talk about since I haven't been on the air, because I can come up with some ideas. But man,
I can
told Rob-
talk.
yeah, I could talk all night too. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can
yeah.
talk, and it's been a minute. I've been taking a bit of a break. So just main thing is, like, I've been to a couple festivals, but that crash retrieval shit. Here's another thing I can tell you. Travis Taylor said at AlienCon. I got to interview him, but he actually said this on a panel. He said, hypothetically, if there was a crash in 1947, first let me preface this by, in June 1947, there was what by Rainier? He saw frickin' craft, and those move biologically, is what he said, right? So then you move forward, and there was that whole flap in New Mexico, which was known as the Roswell incident. Well, all of this, I even forgot where I was going with it. So all of this happens. We get wind of it. So right now, I know we wrote the article with quoted Christopher Mellon, and he said Congress is looking into Roswell. They want all the paperwork from 1945 on, not just blah blah blah. They have, because that interagency, they're no longer subject to just the DoD arrow. They're able to look for paperwork now from special access programs. I think is what I read. Everything, special access programs, everything needs to be pulled for this, whatever is going to be happening. Right. So that on top of all and someone asked earlier about who is testifying. I can't say that. I have my own. I don't know anything for sure, but I can tell you that I know there's multiple people from what I hear, and not all of them are the people that some of you may know. Some of them worked on those sports cars, reverse engineering, whatever you want to call it. Right. And I'll also say that if you looked at Bryce, which is Hollywood UFOs on Twitter, Bryce Zabel, if you look at his, he tweeted out something about the UFO material Linda Moulton Howe had, which was Denmark, right? Pay attention to that. The Denmark UFO material. I also say that I once heard Tom DeLonge make a comment about the material can only be made in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. Somebody told him that. He didn't come up with that.
What if you ran across that person, or if you heard that before?
Yeah. Which is amazing. It blows my mind. I'm so looking forward once we get over this hump. It's a big hump too.
Yeah.
It's literally it'll change the world. And then we'll have questions, won't we? Like medical questions and how about who are they and where are they from and their history and how did they involve? What lessons did you learn while you guys were in the beginning? What lessons did you learn? And maybe we can apply that to our lives as well. We got to be careful. There's going to be a lot of religions popping up too, right? So there's going to be people. I mean, they'll right now we got people saying this is all BS. Just no one's going to be. There's no UFOs. This is all in our heads. All of this. Even Congress has gone crazy talking about UFOs, but holy smokes.
There's going to be people going ape. Once it comes out, there's going to be people going completely ape.
Yeah.
Once the truth finally drops, you're going to see some people. You hear some crazy stuff right now without it. Wait till you see what happens when that comes out. Some of these because if you see some of these really like conservative Christian groups are really, really out there. Some of the stuff I hear coming out of them people, and they're at that. You're going to see some real crazy stuff going on once this comes out. They're not going to believe it. They're going to say it's all a lie, even though the proof will be right in front of their face.
Yeah, I think.
So it'll be problems like that, but we'll get over it.
The Catholics apparently. They've aligned themselves to that.
They'll be okay.
The Catholics will be okay. They've come to the understanding that we're not the only one in the universe, right? So, and of course, they can all come here and go. They can be saved as well, and they can all be Catholics as well, or whatever religion or whatever. I want to know, like, there's just so many questions I have. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have to make a whole show about that. What else is going on, guys? That's just unbelievable, amazing stories. There is a video that I do want to show. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Oh no, I don't see it. There it is. Apparently, I need to upload it. There we go. It's uploading. I got a I had a chance
I was
today to.
I was I I was
What's
gonna
that?
say I came across a pretty interesting article about a cattle mutilation case going on in Australia.
Yeah.
There was I did actually did a podcast about it earlier today, and it's there was a couple since 2018. They had like 20 cattle that were mutilated, and they're saying they think it's aliens.
Yeah, because let me guess, it still has they'll have an area removed from here, possibly an eye, an ear. They'll have the udder removed, the
The
anus,
tongue.
the vagina, all that removed. All the blood's drained from the body of the animal, and
Yep.
then it's just dumped in the field. Is that what it was? What's going on there,
Yeah.
Jim? Yeah, I think your
It was the same
hypothesis
story that
about
if
what that's all
we've been
about is-
hearing. Yeah, it might be. I don't know.
Hello.
I mean, it could be that they're insects and they drink blood. I mean, aliens got to eat too.
if they're biological, then they have to get their energy from consuming. So
You can do it through
Now, if they were-
photosynthesis.
yeah, who knows how they absorb their nutrients and whatever their energy?
Right.
Maybe not from the sun. It could be through vegetables or putting blood. I don't know if I heard it on your show, Jim, or somebody else's. Maybe they have like a tank where they just put their bodies in and put all that
Yeah.
blood in there and they absorb it. Who knows? I don't know. So,
Well, some people who have been abducted and been on the craft, they've seen this kind of thing, according to certain people.
yeah, it's
So-
blows my mind. I'm really surprised that the cattle mutilations never really took off because there's a whole science behind it. It's not something people are making up. Like, let's say you have a cow, or let's make it a cat. Your cat comes in the house and it's missing a tail. Something happened. And then your neighbor down the street, same thing happened to their cat, so on and so forth. Obviously, something's going on, right, with cats' tails. And there would be a science. There would be a study on why these cats are missing their tails. That's a good analogy. But yeah,
Recently I had that interview with Preston Dennett recently, and he doesn't believe that he doesn't believe aliens are behind it. He says he thinks it's the government, but I with all due respect, I think it's aliens. I mean, just
Yeah.
the evidence to me shows that points to aliens. I mean, there's been some ranchers that have sat out all night and they've seen the strange lights come and go really quickly, and then the next thing you know, there's a dead cow laying there, completely emaciated and missing body parts. So I don't think it's the government. I don't think that. Well, I don't understand. I don't see why the government would want to do something like that. It doesn't. Well, if they wanted to believe that they would take they would buy cattle themselves. They wouldn't just sneak into somebody's ranch and do that and then just fly away. I mean, and besides that, I think somebody by this point would have caught them doing it in the act. I just don't see them doing it. Nobody's ever been busted for this yet. Nobody.
yeah.
Well, frankly, a lot of it isn't. It isn't.
Say it again, Rob. You buffered.
Saying a lot of this with the cattle mutilations and stacking them in little holding pens and inside cattle trailers and things like that. It's not humanly possible to do a lot of what they record on record with the cattle mutilations and such. It's just not possible. I mean, even with scavengers and stuff, they don't surgically remove like a shoulder bone and then sew it back up. Even humans can't do that in the way that it was advanced in the literature and the investigation reports.
Yeah. Hopefully somebody there's so many different types of researchers. We got Shane that's researching crash retrievals. Rob and I are kind of freelance. We enjoy what Jim has always produced. Excuse me. Excuse me. There was a point to this conversation before I had a cough. I should have put my mic on mute. I got a new mic. All right, so hopefully I do sound better. It doesn't matter. Let's go on. Here it is. With all the different people doing different things, you think there might be somebody out there still doing cattle mutilations studies, right? Maybe get a Google search result alert anytime there's a cattle death that's suspicious, and they do studies on it. Hopefully someone does, and we'll find out.
Just earlier today, that was my debate, the podcast that I'm going to be uploading later on tonight. That's what it's about, is like why scientific community, I believe, needs to. I mean, I think that right there, if they were to focus on that, because that seems like the aliens can't stay away from the cattle. They can't stay away from it. They're always, if they were to focus on that, we might have that proof without waiting for the government to come clean. But scientists don't want to do that. They
December, I went to where did I go in December with my family, for crying out loud? I went to the mountains, Rocky Mountains, right? There was cattle mutilations going on out there apparently. So they're still happening. I don't think it's the government either. Let's see, we got some. I have no idea what that link is. I'll have to check it up after the show. Oh, real quick. Check this out, Shane. Watch this. Yeah. Man, that came out pretty good. I was flying my drone at the beach, right? And it was nice hot day out there. And, I think about Lou being in that snow all the time. Dude, you need to get a place down. But you've been in Florida before, Lou. You lived here. Get a place around here. We can hang out or something. All right.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Okay, maybe not. Rob, what's going on, man? What's on your mind? Besides wondering if you're going to.
I think a lot of people, Lou kind of got people a little spoiled with, since 2017 with his 5 pillars of engagement to bring this to the attention of Congress and the DoD proper, that he had to engage the public to kick them up, to get enough pressure on them to do that. And with him withdrawing, I think from for the moment that people have gotten too used to that steady flow of him, and without it, they're thinking that silence means it's stalling out, but it's not. It's actually an indication that things are escalating and moving forward as planned. And if it stalled out, then Congress and them would be out back in front of the cameras making some noise. But you're not going to take people in, get their testimony, and then trot them out on the courthouse or out on the Congress steps and say, "Hey, we got another one here," and put a target on them. So silence is progress. So we just need to be patient with it. Because I've read a bunch of people lately on Twitter and such that are getting exacerbated, thinking that we need to be told more ongoing and in real time. That's just not the way it's set up to. It's not sustainable, and we shouldn't expect that. And even with disclosure, the government probably will make a statement within the next year that we're dealing with non-human intelligences of some kind or breakaway humans of some sort. But from there, I don't really expect them to expand and articulate too much for a while anyway. I really don't think that they know, that there's all indications that there's many different orders and categories of this phenomena and not just one singular answer. So it's a very complex thing. And it's like trying to identify a Loch Ness monster. You're going to have fins, you're going to have humps, you're going to wiggle side to side and up and down both. It may look like one creature to some and multiple creatures to others. We just don't know what's in the water yet until we throw in some dynamite and get it blown out onto the shores. So we have to suspend making conclusions until we get enough accurate data to make a definitive type concrete foundational assessment of what we're dealing with. And I just don't see that coming out really quick. I mean, obviously not 75 more years like the dry spell that we had, but I don't think it's going to stack up by the end of the year and everything's going to come out to where, we know them by name.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but no, I think you're right. I agree with that totally. What I want the acknowledgement from the government and some stuff. I want to see their files on Roswell. I want to see the pictures, the classic stuff. Like, I want to see some of the things that they've been out on for 75 years. I don't think they're ever going to show us that. I think they're going to continue. They're going to start like saying that we just discovered it or something like that. I just don't feel confident that they're ever going to tell the truth about some of these old cases like Roswell and things like that, because then that showed them up as liars. So that's my concern. My concern with that. But I think that they might, I just want to see an acknowledgement and what they know so far, anything. But I just like to see us move on from where we are. I don't like this world of make-believe that we're living in, where everyone doesn't realize that there's actually an extraterrestrial. Everyone should know this.
Yeah.
I'll answer a question too. I think it's hopefully I'm saying his name right. Sawan. I can guess from all my information that you guys don't have per se, and just research that's out there, right?
Right.
Who's going to be speaking at the hearings? You could probably guess too, some of them very clearly, but specifically, there's people, in my opinion, there's people that somehow worked with the craft in some way, right? So that has those kind of receipts. And then you also asked, when is the hearing? I think specifically for a reason, it's going to be like impromptu. Like it's happening. Not like ahead of time announced. I think it's going to be, because again, these are people, not all of them may want their names out there. Right. Some of them may already be out there, but some of them may not want them. So that needs to be balanced with national security, but also needs to balance with, like Jim and them were talking about. It can't be the same old song and dance where we're just like, well, so-and-so said they're real. We need the government to say, look, something's here. We don't know what it is. That's all they have to fucking say.
Well, they kind of did that with, these are UFOs and we don't know what they are. It is sort of, maybe they're sidestepping it a little bit.
Well, yeah, by saying UFO, that's just unidentified flying. You're not putting, look, they're not saying, look, there's something here that's every time that they talk about like something, they always have it's a drone, it's a this. They need to specifically say there's some other intelligence here that we do not know, understand, whatever they want to, however they want to word it. But they need to specifically say it. So we're not doing this spitting in the dark like Jim was talking about, same old song and dance. Well, so-and-so leaked it. Okay. No, I think the governments know.
I think Congress has already done that, because they came out with the legislation that the Air Office is only going to investigate non-human UAP. And as soon as they find out that there has terrestrial origins or known adversaries or near peers, then it gets kicked to another office. And they wouldn't have done that on speculation and unfounded rumors.
For public sake, that's a lot different than saying something's here for disclosure's sake, because you're right. Reading between the lines, us researchers get it, but the public doesn't. They need to be told something's here.
Well, I think they did that by stating that the office is going to investigate UAPs that aren't human origin, or known terrestrial.
Yeah, but I thought back. I mean, you could say the same thing about the 1997 Air Force report from Roswell when they said it was crash test dummies. I mean, that's like almost you might as well just admit it that right there you're lying. If you're trying to say that what people saw in 1947 was anthropomorphic dummies dropped from high altitudes from 1953 to 1959, you would think that people would have understood that these people are lying to our face. The media stood there like, oh, okay, thanks a lot, and walked away. I mean, it's the same. See, the mainstream media, like what you're saying, you're right, Rob. But at the same time, unless you say it directly, there's a presence here that's not human. It's extraterrestrial. We don't know what it is. Unless they say that directly, then the mainstream media is just going to keep dumb, and we're just going to continue in this again, this land of make believe, Mr. Rogers' land of make believe. Should have like a trolley going, or one of those little trolleys, and that little puppet.
Yeah. I'm thinking Congress may be the one that lets us know.
Oh, in the African bush.
Go ahead, Rob. I don't think Rob can hear me. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Rob. Go ahead. Oh, he's frozen. Okay. That's because you were frozen. I interrupted you. So go ahead. You can finish your thought.
Who's frozen? Am I frozen? Nope.
No. No. Yeah. All right. Maybe you did you lose your thought? I interrupted you because there was
saying we need to go back and I'm just trying to say that we need to go back and extract the exact language of that and examine it, because the media and these third world nations and subordinate nations, they're going to speak to the narrative, the consensus of the government and the pressure that's applied to them. They're going to go along to get along. We can't rely on the mainstream media even to interpret this or to disseminate either one. The beauty of the internet and such, we don't have to rely on those conventional sources anymore. We can delve into it ourselves. And there's plenty of information out there if you just know how to compile it together that does form a very clear, unambiguous picture of what we're dealing with. And it's not known human technologies. So from there, you can speculate whatever you want. Breakaway earlier human civilizations or future from times past or interdimensional, all the above is what it looks like. And that's what Bigelow stated with what we were dealing with.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we have people like you see different news networks carting out Neil deGrasse Tyson to tell everybody that there's no such thing, and the media just sits there and laughs about it and goes along with them. So until again, even though it's been said in a sideway version, basically, or they basically did it. They in a way they did admit it, like you said, but until they're absolutely clear, I just still don't see. We see it like Shane said, but I just don't think the rest of the world sees it yet. The mainstream media obviously doesn't see it. I mean, they're just completely moronic when it comes to this.
Well, Mick West and Neil deGrasse Tyson are basically the woke safe spaces for people who can't handle this when they need a stress card or a teddy bear to go pull themselves back together. They give them a safe place to do that, because they're still saying that it's not anything out of human technologies. Then we're gonna side with them because that feels more comfortable to us, which I understand it to some degree, but you don't institutionalize it and try and force it upon others if that's what your conviction is, unless you have facts to go on, because otherwise you're preaching dogma and not facts, and you're trying to advance a narrative and not let the facts empirically take you where they should. So it's just going to be, there's not going to be any one right answer for anybody with this. It's just going to have to be kind of the 80% down the middle, and people are going to drop off on either side by about 10%.
I heard somewhere, I don't know if it was on Twitter, it might have been in one of the conversations that you guys were part of. Somebody was saying that I read this, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but that people don't want to know the truth about this. They would rather not know. Like people out there who just literally really don't want to know. They don't want to be told the truth. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I never heard anyone saying that.
They haven't.
Somebody's buffering.
Some people are going to have buyer's remorse. I think.
Go ahead, Rob.
Rob froze up.
I think
He did.
I think unfortunately some people are getting their expectations too high on, or too soon even, for what they expect disclosure to comport as. That somehow it's going to be an overnight revelation and the whole landscape is going to change overnight, literally. And I don't foresee that happening in the short term, at least.
Yeah.
Because even if they acknowledge that this is not human that we're dealing with, I don't think they're ready to even try to go on the record with some kind of assessment of what we are dealing with. It's just easier to rule out at this point what's not. And then from there, we just don't know how long it's going to take. It could be another decade.
I think you're absolutely right.
You're
You're absolutely correct about that. Yeah, I mean, if they come out and acknowledge it, yeah, that's only the beginning. I mean, that's only the beginning. I'm sure they don't even have all the answers. I don't see how they possibly could have all the answers. They have some things they could tell us, but yeah, you're right. We're never. I don't know. Even if they came out with disclosure tomorrow, and we all here live for another like 75 years. By that end of that 75 years, we're still not going to know have anywhere near the full picture. So you're right.
I think it's a good start by interviewing the right people. And my number one draft pick would be Lou. I would have in front of Congress.
Cliff, what'd you post the UAPmed.org link for? Was that for the conversation? Because I'm actually one of the founding members. I'm the creative director.
There we go.
Whatever you want to call it. Thank you for posting that. So what that is, since I'll tell everybody,
Please.
We don't really do anything with experiencers. What we do is we reach out to medical professionals and mental health professionals to tell them, hey, something's here. Doesn't matter what you think about it. Don't take my word for it. Here's these professionals. We give them Gary and all these other professionals. Go have a look for yourself. Because not everyone that comes to you is crazy. Whatever. There's issues that you need to know about to do the proper medical examination in mental health. So thank you for mentioning that. And now I'll plug that.
Also, make sure everybody plug all your stuff, including the Roswell, the Daily Record, right?
Yes, I will also say I'm also a reporter for the Roswell Daily Record covering the UAP phenomenon. And for me, that's anything and everything that Keel talks about, right? Ghosts, all this stuff's intertwined, in my opinion. Somehow we don't know what you call it, right? And we write about this stuff. There's very few journalists. You got Christopher Sharp, you got George Knapp, and people who write about this subject the way it needs to be aren't scared to write about things, right? We're doing an article right now about After Effects that it's going to be pretty damn awesome. There's some stuff in there that no one knows about the government and all these other things, right? So check them out. Roswell Daily Record, they're like family. The owner's got I can't believe now I'm writing for them, right? It still kind of blows my mind. I pinch myself. And I'm thankful as hell, you guys, for this podcast. Make sure everyone's subscribing, hitting the like. And then I also do Roswell UFO Symposium, which is another podcast. And I also do Mind Escape, which is I'm a producer, kind of co-host on as well. I love this subject because my experience is still going on. When I was in Roswell, 4 days in a row that I tried, I CE5 and shared my experience with multiple groups of people. The same exact thing I'm seeing in Yakima Valley, which happens to be a freaking hot spot. So yeah, check all that stuff out in Wounded Warrior, because these guys will tell you. My veterans brothers and sisters they'll thank you. And I reached out to Wounded Warrior again yesterday. Go back in. So I haven't had any care since I left. The VA's dropped the ball, and the people that I was supposed to, it's been a year since I've seen anybody. So I think I need to do myself some good and go back.
Absolutely. I can't add. Jim, tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, you can check me out on my YouTube channel, Quirk Zone, or also on my Spotify podcast, UFO Extraterrestrial Reality. I'll be actually posting a podcast later on after I'm finished up editing.
We'll be
editing it.
directing everybody to go over to the Quirk Zone. That's correct, right? The Quirk Zone. Yeah.
Quirk Zone. Yeah, I probably won't be done until it won't be up for a little while. I had some issues with it, so.
Very good.
Yep. But yeah, check it out. It's going to be a good one.
Outstanding. And I'm actually doing a little documentary of myself. It's called The Trip. I'm going to be filming the entire time I'm going to see Rob. The entire time I'm with Rob. And I will edit it to make him look really good. I know that for a fact. So we got that going on. We got Sean Cahill. I'm sure I can get him ask some questions. We got the event. I don't know what they allow inside the event, whether I can record or not, stream. I don't know, but if I can record or anything, I'll make sure everybody sees what's going on there as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Rob and. Rob told me not to give out his birthday, but his birthday is between now and about 20 days from now. So go ahead and spread happy birthdays to Rob. I'm not saying how old he is.
30 days.
I will tell you.
He kind of old. High five. Whew. All right, folks. Any last comment, thoughts, or anything like that, folks? Because we will.
Well, Mr. Gray, I don't know what you mean. Will there be any smoking hot chicks there? Where's there? At Wounded Warrior?
Yeah,
Eureka Springs.
Eureka Springs.
Eureka Springs, I
Lord.
think.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. You see, I got to put that down. Hold on, let me get the banner. Dang. Okay. And this thing right here, bam. Those will be available. Right here, folks. I'm putting this on wood so I can have a plaque like Shane. Finally, you guys won't want to have someone your addresses as well. But what else is going on, Rob? Besides your birthday between now and 20 days from now?
Not much. Just trying to turn my head so I can hear.
Oh, yeah.
People are wondering why I'm sitting sideways.
Yeah.
Just trying to hear.
So funny story today. Let me get it's Wonder. Have you guys found Wonder yet on your iOS device or your Droid device there, Jim?
You
Rob,
talking about the Chat GPT app?
No.
Wonder. Check it out because it is what people are fearing. It's done. AI is so advanced now that I guarantee you that's how. What's his name? Let me get his name right. Whoo, King Milkfart. Anybody ever heard of that dude? He's posting photos of Neil deGrasse Tyson in compromising positions. Many photos, and
Yeah.
they're not real photos, but they kind of look real. And the app Wonder can produce this. I got, in fact, if you saw my Facebook picture, I changed it to an artificial intelligent created image, and I've got a couple of here to show you. So that's that. I mean, that's pretty much dead on. Let's see what else here. Now this is fake. I can tell you why this is fake. I can't grow facial hair. You know, I'm in my 50s and just I get dirt. You know, if you ever seen Team America, right? From the guys who made South Park. They had this one terrorist, this undercover guy, be a terrorist, and he had splotches of crap all over his. Yeah, that's how I grow mine. But it gets a little funnier when I threw my wife's photo in there, and we're wearing. She looks kind of like that, but not like that at all. But this one here, I had to do some explaining. This is my AI created family on the side, and that you could tell the kid looks like me too. So. But you can do that with anything, just not photos. You can just say, how about a brown and yellow cat climbing a wall in Van Gogh style, right? Boom, pop it up. It's amazing. It's freaking amazing. All right, let me get things closed down here and we will finish it up. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Please hit that subscribe. We'll get that monetization thing fixed because all that money, 100% of that money will go to our charity. And yes, it's part of Lou's charity too. So how cool is that? Oh, what's his charity? I'll tell you. It's a non-kill shelter. It's the no.
St.
It's
Francis.
Buffalo, Wyoming Humane Society. Is that correct there, Rob?
St. Francis Animal Hospital in Buffalo.
Yeah. All right, let me get my last things up here. Bam. There it is. I am ready to get out of here, folks. Probably, I don't think I'll do a show between now and the day we get on the road to go see Rob Heatherly. I'll try to make some on the road videos and share, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again. Sean Cahill will be the first time I've ever met him. And that's pretty much it, folks. Any last words, guys? No. All right. Good night,
No, thanks
folks.
for having me.
Hey, anytime, Sean. Shane, you too, man. Rob, thanks for coming around. You know, getting out of bed and all. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. All right, get better so I can see you in a few days. All right.
Will do.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.
I'll take care, all right? Nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for you. You think they have any clue what's about to happen to him?
Oh, not a chance in hell. Good night.